Megatron does look a bit bigger than Starscream, but that's okay.
ShartimusPrime, reading comics, toys are hella sick, hella whacking it, taking bad hits, taking fast hits, Startimus, subscribe.
One more time with that. Oh, hey, what's up you guys? ShartimusPrime here, doing another Transformers action figure review on the Transformers Generation Siege Warfare Cybertron Trilogy's Voyager class Starscream. If you're trying to pick this up, you can do so at
Big. Get your big badass toys at BigBadToyStore.com. Click the link in the description below.
Oh man, this figure looks so freaking sick, and I really like this image of Starscream right over there. Pretty awesome. On the back, you can see some cool looking product shots, and then on this side, you can see the Siege Warfare Cybertron Trilogy poster. On the top, you get a Decepticon symbol. It says Transformers Warfare Cybertron Trilogy, and then not much more at the bottom, so let's get to it and crack this thing open. And here's Starscream out of the packaging and in his alt mode, and this is pretty awesome. I have him on a Figma stand, and I love that you can put these new Transformers figures on stands. I think that's very cool, and I really like the design of this figure. I do have minor gripes with it, but overall, I think it looks very cool. So let's get a closer look at his accessories, and then we'll take a closer look at Starscream. So Starscream gets his two null rays, which don't look too bad. They're, I don't know, kind of reminiscent to the G1 null rays I remember seeing, you know, especially with this longer part right over here, but they mostly look like, I don't know, Cybertronian rifles of some sort, and they are identical to each other, so there's no difference in the sculpt, and I like the sculpting, you know, nice details there. You can port them at the bottom of the alt mode in two different ways. You could port right over here if you'd like, and that doesn't look too bad. I actually prefer porting right over here, though. I feel like that's what it's more meant for, and yeah, it doesn't look too bad, but yeah, I'm not, well, you could try to figure out a way to get that in there, but the arm's kind of in the way. Oh, and I wanted to show off the port where I plugged the Figma stand in. It can be kind of tricky to do because there's not a whole lot of clearance for space, but you can see that's where I just ported it in right there, and yeah, that's not too bad. So I can rotate around, but yeah, I'm really happy that they included this feature. I'm getting a close look at this alt mode. I really do like all the splattered wear all over the place. That looks freaking awesome. I just think that's really cool. It's kind of like a gunmetal color that they have splattered throughout. You can see a Decepticon symbol right there. Then you get this transparent orange right over there. That's pretty cool, or translucent orange. I dig this quite a bit. Sometimes this can get a little gappy, but that's, yeah, I don't know, that looks pretty good to me. I like that. So yeah, man. You can see the legs right over here at the bottom, just a little irksome. You can see some vents sculpted right over there on the side. Yeah, I think the wings look really good over here, and I really like the back. I think this looks really cool. I was kind of trying to plug in some Iron Man effects in the back of these, you know. I haven't seen any of the effects that come with those Legends class Transformers, so maybe those could fit back here, but that'd be cool to get, you know, some effects coming out right here in the back. You can see the chest of the figure, which actually kind of fits in with the back of it, you know. That's kind of weird at first. That kind of threw me off a bit, but, you know, the more I see it, the more I like it. I think it looks all right. The only real problem with this alt mode that I have is just how bulky the legs are right here, but I don't know, that's not even bothering me that much. I really do like this alt mode. And to measure out this Cybertronian jet mode, you can see it's just a little under 3.5 inches tall, and then I'm looking at about 6 inches across. Then for a size comparison, we have our Siege Voyager class Starscream next to our Siege Voyager class Megatron, and they scale pretty well, you know. Megatron does look a bit bigger than Starscream, but that's okay. Then here's our Siege Voyager class Starscream next to a deluxe class classic Starscream from back in the day. And wow, actually the classics figure is a little bit longer than this Voyager class figure, isn't it? They're about the same, you know. So oh man, they're really shrinking their figures. And then here's our Voyager class Siege Starscream next to the G1 Starscream, and I think the G1 figure actually has some distance or length anyway on this Voyager class figure. Yep, yeah, this one's a little bit longer, but we do get a little bit more mass, I think. So one thing I like about the figure is that the transformation's not too difficult. Way takes away Bumblebee. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take off the guns right over there, and then I just like to split it apart and split it apart right there. This piece comes off way more often than it should. That's actually my biggest gripe of the figure. I was going to go ahead and complain about that a little bit later, but hey, it just happened right now. It just pops off. But anyway, I'm going to lift this up right over here, and then I'm going to start forming the legs and the arms. So you could detach the arms. They peg into these thingies right over here. It's tricky to see, but there's these two tabs right there, so that detaches right here. And then you're going to fold the legs down over at the knees, and then splay out the heels and the toes, and splay those out. Rotate 180 right over here at the waist. And then this piece right here that likes to come off all the time, I'm going to fold that down and move the shoulders back and then get this all into place right here, which is tricky to do when this keeps coming apart, but it'll tab in, and then you can go ahead and start flipping this around here. It gets lost right there, it's so clean looking, but you could flip that around and then swing the fist out, and then you get a double hinge in here, double hinge out, and then collapse. Same thing on this side, this will swing out right over here, and then swing the fist out, and then double hinge outward and collapse, and then we could take the head and swing this up. He has this little back panel piece behind the head. You're going to take that off the back of his head and then swing that down and swing that down like that. And then we have this piece right here, which we're going to detach, and then there's a hinge down there, hinge up here, that's going to peg into that little slot right there. And then this likes to stay together very tight. Yeah, there it goes. And then swing that up, swing that up. There's these two tabs in the back right over here that it's going to go into. We have a hinge here on the inside. So that's going to allow that to move down. You can see how it shifts down. It's not the red part, it's the gray piece right here that has that hinge. And then that's going to go in, and that's going to go in right there. And then get the arms aligned, and then try to swing these wings out away from the figure a little bit. And then gonna go ahead and add his weapons right here, and now we have Starscream in his robot mode. And what a satisfying looking robot mode this is. So reminiscent to the G1 design. I really like it a lot. Great articulation, and the paint apps are fairly thorough throughout. So I really like that about this piece. Great looking mode. Let's get a closer look. By the way, I wanted to mention, if you're a little upset I'm not reviewing a Studio Series figure today, you have the patrons to blame for that. They're the ones that chose this one over the Studio Series Drift with the little baby Dinobots. But I love this head sculpt right here. We get this beautiful light piping. I mean, look at that, man. That is great. And I don't even have a light shining directly on it. I don't know if I try to get this light shining behind it even more so. I mean, you just see how great that looks. Awesome head sculpt right there. All kinds of details on the forehead and everything. I love the vents on the side. I mean, after Optimus Prime, Starscream is my favorite Transformers character, so I just really love how this came out. That looks great. Bright silver paint. I mean, I could use a Starscream with a smirk. I always like it when they have Starscream smirking, but man, I think that's a great looking head sculpt. These pieces right over here look awesome. I really like that. That's very cool. And then looking at the shoulders, you can see all kinds of etched out detail. The upper torso and the chest looks really good. It does look a little on the flat side, but not even really. You know, this whole canopy piece right over here, you know, kind of makes it stick out. And you have this beautiful translucent orange. I love the splotching of the silver paint. Really adds a lot of detail. Like, it's fairly thorough throughout this robot mode. As I said earlier, it just looks really good. So I don't feel like it's missing the extra paint anywhere. And that gunmetal color right here is just freaking awesome. The legs look really good. Again, the arms have that paint on it as well. Not so much on the gray areas though, but we do get on the gray parts of the legs. So that looks really good. The shins look great. All kinds of splattering paint. Details on the feet look awesome. Man, just great details throughout, and I like how this whole piece kind of folds in due to transformation. But here's looking at the back of the figure, which is, you know, just mostly jet mode parts. One thing that they did here that I really like is that they added the Decepticon symbol on the inside of the wings. I wish they were upside down. It's just a minor nitpick of mine, but, you know, still, I think that's cool that they're there. Along with the red paint on the inside right here, too. That just really fills things out for me. I dig that. And it's also worth mentioning that if you wanted to give him his weapons, like right here on the forearm instead, you can. You know, I remember Starscream mostly having them right over here. You could also port them right here on the wings if you'd like, and you could have him hold them like they're guns or something if you wanted to do that too. But I'm honestly going with this default look for Starscream with adding him right over here. And partly due to transformation, he has great head articulation, man. You can move his head all the way up, which is great for flying poses. You want that for Starscream. He does look down a little bit too, which is also great for Starscream. I dig that. You get side-to-side motion, and you can get some head tilting, so you can get some emotions. We get this great shoulder articulation right here, so he has butterfly joints that move in, and that chest piece keeps wanting to pop off, but that is very cool that you can do that. You could move the shoulders outward. You could rotate at the shoulders. You could also rotate at the bicep. There goes one of the null rays. And then you get these double jointed elbows that bend all the way in. You also get wrist swivels. You get a waist swivel. Hips move outward all the way. He can kick forward. He can kick back. You get a thigh cut right there. Great knee articulation. That looks pretty good. More than 90 degrees. I'm happy with that. And then he doesn't really have ankle well, you can move the ankle ankles inward, so very, very slight ankle pivot right there. And you could also splay the toes outward and a bit inward just due to transformation. Now to measure out Starscream, you can see that he's standing just a little over 7 inches tall. To the top of his head though, he's a little under 6.5 inches. And then here's Starscream next to the leader class John 3.0, I mean Shockwave right over there, minus all the extra mierda that nobody really wanted. And then we have the Voyager class Megatron right over there, which stands tallest out of these three right over here, which is actually quite perfect. I'm very happy with the way these three scale. And then here's our Voyager class Starscream next to the Deluxe class Classic Starscream. So yeah, you can see a huge size difference between the two of them in their robot modes. And then here's our Siege Starscream next to the G1 Starscream. And am I the only one who used to store the landing gear right here in the canopy? I still do that right now. You know, even as a kid, I used to do that. And then here's Starscream next to your average 6-inch scale figure. We have the Marvel Legends Big Time Classic Spider-Man. Starscream, huh? Can you scream like this? Roar! So what can I say, man? I'm very happy with this figure, and I especially like that I can get it on a flight stand as you're seeing it right over here. It just adds to the fun factor, and I really like how the figure looks. I like how it transforms. I really like the articulation. My only real gripe over here is that chest piece keeps popping off on me. That's pretty irritating, but aside from that, I really like it. At the price point of about 25 bucks, I'm giving this a Sud rating of... I love it! And I'd like to know what you guys think, so please let me know in the comments section below. And if you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more Shartimus Prime videos coming your way, please hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell. And a big thanks to all these people over here that support this YouTube channel over on the Patreon account. Your help really goes a long way, and I appreciate everybody watching this video too. I'm stepping away from Avengers Endgame posts right now because I love my Transformers. I've acquired a bunch of Transformers recently, and I've been having a lot of fun with my new Transformers figures. So yeah, expect more Transformers reviews. And if you want to follow me on social media, check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, and Stardust. I just recently got Mortal Kombat 11, so expect to see me over on Twitch very soon. Hope you follow me over there. Links in the description below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace!
Posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures every day. I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, I'm posing action figures, it's okay.
That's crispy.
Hey, new Shartimus Prime videos. Hey, you should click one. Yeah, click on one of them. Or subscribe if you haven't.